We're coming to you live from our studios here at MS24. Welcome to MS Breaks. My name is Kwabena Amia. Coming up, Director at the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, Professor Peter Quartey, says party manifestos are deficient in addressing funding for agricultural sector. Now to the details. Chief Executive Officer of COCOBOD, Joseph Boahinedu, has called for value addition and mass production of cocoa products amid COVID-19 pandemic. This, according to him, is crucial in boosting the cocoa sector in Ghana. Now, speaking on the sidelines of the Ghana Cocoa Awards, Joseph Boahinedu also encouraged Ghanaians to lead the campaign to promote local consumption of cocoa products.
Have to note will be processing. If you can do more processing, and also if we can consume, you see, that's the crux of the matter. If we here can consume cocoa, and it will mean that as we produce, we consume, and it will generate local economy here. And there's money. Once you are processing and value adding, it generates a new economy altogether. As I said today, if you look at even the population of Africa, we are now about 1.3 billion. It's a very young population. The median is 90. It means that many of we Africans are young. And when you are young and you are eating chocolate, there's no problem. It is only when you are 40 years going, that's where you get so much concern about sugar. And when you take any bar of chocolate, it's cocoa, sugar, and milk. But cocoa is a key ingredient that's needed by the human body. It's not a sugar. So once you hit 50, 60 years, you have to be careful taking chocolate. That's why consumption is flat in Europe and in America.
In economic research, Professor Peter Quartey says manifesto of major political parties failed to address the issue of funding in the agricultural sector. Speaking at a forum organized by ISA on agriculture, Professor Quartey asserted that ideas and policies on agriculture must be formulated in the context of COVID-19.
Our manifestos have good ideas about how to support Agric, but where is the money? The question is, where is the money? Where is the money going to come from? If you look at both manifestos, I have reviewed both manifestos, you don't find, in fact, the source of funding becomes very critical. There is a talk about the big push in the NDC manifesto, for instance, $10 billion. In the midst of COVID, look at our debt GDP ratio, look at our revenue base, it's declining. Where are we going to find $10 billion to invest in the things we plan to do? There are going to be tax cuts, tax reduction, for instance. When your revenue is deeping, and you're going to cut taxes. There are so many promises out there which I don't think, they are good ideas, but not in the COVID era. Maybe when we move out of COVID, some of this will be useful. We have good ideas, but I think let's situate it carefully. That is why, for me, we need to link the manifestos to our long-term development plan. When that is done, competing for promises and all those things will be minimized. Then more especially agriculture. Then we can target policies that will really revamp agricultural sector instead of still going back, identifying the issues and trying to play with them. There's been some initiatives, I must admit, very good ones, but I think there's more room for.
Now let's do some more stories. Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Dr. Ifua Sabiasari, has advised businesses to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area to expand their market and export to other parts of the continent. Speaking at a regional conference on the implementation of AFTA, she explained that the National Export Development Strategy has been aligned to the government's industrialization agenda, whose implementation over the next 10 years will witness rapid increases in non-traditional export revenues.
There was one consistent theme that ran through the highlights of the day, and it was the call for countries on the continent to take advantage of the opportunity that we have as a continent to increase trade among ourselves, taking full advantage of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. In recent times, the relatively weak performance of the NTEs, that is a non-traditional export sector, and other conditions of trade on the global scene have revealed the risks, weaknesses, and uncertainties associated with that overdependence on primary commodity exports. We have for so long banked our hopes on the export of raw materials to feed industries in our countries. This has done us no good. It is for this reason that the president called for a complete reorient products. Government has embarked on an industrialization agenda aimed at moving Ghana into an industrialized economy. You will be hearing a lot more about government's flagship 1D1F program as part of presentations to be delivered this afternoon, and more especially on how you can be a part of this.
Now it's time to look at the performance of the cedi against the major trading currencies. We begin with the US dollar, selling at 5 cedis 71 pesos, with a 0.0 differential for the buying price at 5 cedis 70 pesos. Also, the pound sterling pegged at 7 cedis 54 pesos, with the Japanese yen pegged at 0.05. Let's shift focus to the commodities market. Gold selling at $1,886 per ounce, with cocoa pegged at $2,435 per metric ton, with crude prices pegged at $44 per barrel. So those are the figures to rely on for those within the financial sector. And that's it for MS Breaks. My name is Kwabena Amaya. Keep watching MS24.